Today, my friends, I'm here to teach you guys how to use the Pekka Bobat at Town Hall 11. We're going to be going over a lot of different things, including what you're looking for in a base design, as well as how you guys can use the bat spells. So with that and more in this video, with that being said, let's go ahead and jump straight into it. So that's right, we are going to be breaking down the Pekka Bobat attack strategy in this video. We've got 5 different examples, including this one. So that means that we're going to be covering this one. We've got a lot of different examples for you guys to really learn how you guys can use Pekka Bobat at Town Hall 11 a little bit more consistently. Now, as far as I would say, this is probably the most consistent bat spell attack at Town Hall 11, since it just works really well. It works a lot better than Drag Bat, and most of the time it's not going to be base specific, but other times it will be. So it's really going to be depending on how the Eagle and the Infernos are placed. That is where it's going to sort of trip you up. So if they have it in some random area, then it's probably going to be very difficult to get it. So just consider that when you guys are using the Pekka Bobat or any other strategy in general, since sometimes a base will call for another strategy. Now with this attack, if we take a look at the base design, we want to make sure that we are getting a couple things. We're getting the splash buildings. This is going to include things like Wizard Towers, Multi-Infernos, and the Eagle. These 3 structures are going to be really important to get, since any sort of hit on your bats from them is going to wipe them out. Meaning that they do a lot better than Expos, Teslas, and Archer Towers, and air defenses in terms of taking care of bats. However, don't forget that Expos and Teslas are still going to be a nice powerhouse in defending bats. Meaning that what you really want to make sure that you're doing is still getting rid of them as much as possible. So that's going to be the main thing. Now, when we're taking a look at an entry point, we want to first take a look at where the town hall is in relation to our entry point, or the part of the base that we want to hit from. In this case, this is a good area to hit from, since more specifically this sort of V-shape area here. This allows us to enter into the base here. We're going to get at least 3 Wizard Towers and a Multi-Inferno. We'll be able to deal with the enemy CC, which is always going to be a huge help. And we're also going to have access to the Eagle as we get deeper into the base. Meaning that we can also get rid of the other Multi-Inferno, so that then we are still getting value from it. Now, one of the other things as well with this is you have the healers. Now, the healers in this case are going to be used primarily on the Pekka's bowlers and the Queen, maybe along with the Grand Warden as well. The reason that you don't want the King to go in is because you don't want the King to steal the healers. Instead, you want the healers to stay on the Pekkas and the bowlers as they drive through the base. That's where they're really going to shine, and that's where you can get a lot of value from. And then when you're dropping your bats, we're going to explain that. It's called a bat wave. The bat wave portion is all the bats on the outside, and then what they're going to be doing is going to defense, and that is going to allow you to predict their pathing. That'll help you with your free spell placement as well. So that is just really something to consider when you guys are using Pekka Bobat. Now, if we take a look at this example, the first thing that we need to do of any attack is going to be creating the funnel. So on one side, we've got a wizard, and on the other side, we should have the king and or a Pekka that will also help create the funnel on the opposite side. We can let the king die in this case as long as we pop the king's ability, so that then we are going to be able to get some sort of value. We will be able to sort of clear a nice area and still let him die out. That will allow our healers to stay on the Pekkas and bowlers as they drive through. That way we're also still getting some sort of value from the base. Primarily with this is that you want to maybe use a baby dragon to either create the funnel if you kind of failed on that or anything like that. But also when you're dealing with an enemy CC, like a damage CC, like a baby dragon witch or even dragon witch, then you want to bring a poison, because that is always going to be a really necessary factor in dealing with the entire base. Dealing with damage CCs aren't too difficult though with this attack, as most of the time you're going to be bringing a poison, and also you have the Pekkas and bowlers. They do really well, they just don't hit air. So that's where you really want the Queen to step up and go into the base. If we take a look at this bottom section here, notice how everything is moving into this direction, allowing us to get value from the P.E.K.K.A.s, allowing us then to start our bats. And notice the pathing here. They're going to move over to the mortar and then over to the archer tower, to the Tesla, to the other archer tower. Some of them will split, but they'll start grouping back up here, and you can just tell they're the easy pathing. Now, what about the free spells? Didn't have to use a single free spell with the bats. Well, that's where they're going to be used towards the back end of the base, like right here, covering the covering the wizard tower in order to get that value. And that's what you're looking for. So primarily with any of these attacks, you really want to try and make sure that you are getting some sort of value from your P.E.K.K.A.s and bowlers, and then you're going to be getting some extra value with the bats. They can also be used for cleanup, but just remember that you don't want like a loon going in with them or anything, because you never know if there could be a not a seeking air mine, but a red air bomb right there to completely go over to your bats and take them out. So that is going to be one of the weaknesses to the bats themselves, along with the other buildings. But let's go ahead and jump into the next example with the Pekka Bobat. So in this next example, what we are looking at here is a little bit of a different base design. It is actually a little bit more symmetrical. This allows us to sort of predict how traps are going to be placed and stuff like that. But we also want to consider how the base is constructed as a whole. If we take a look at this base design here, the key aspect is making sure that we are creating a funnel on either side. We are letting the king walk, which is really good with this attack. As we send everything in, we want to make sure that we are getting value from our wall wrecker, our bowlers, and also our P.E.K.K.A.s and queen, and our Grand Warden. Now, the Grand Warden's ability is something I didn't talk about in the first one. The Grand Warden's ability should be used early on to protect everything as they move in through the base. This allows us to get a lot more value, especially through those first few volleys of the Eagle. And not just that, but also when we are dealing with the enemy CC and or double multi-infernos on the same side, like you saw in this case. That was the main reason why we hit it, because we could get rid of both multi-infernos and the Eagle from where our entry point was. And you can still see that there are a couple expos near that queen, especially there was a ground expo, but still dealing with this very easily with the queen and the healers still staying up, allowing them to heal up both the queen, the P.E.K.K.A.s, and the bowlers, and whatever else is left. Now with that, you'll notice that on this top section here, there is still 3 wizard towers. What we did is we sacrificed a lot of that to get both multi-inferno towers. Once we've done so, we can predict our pathing for our bat spells. This way we can actually send them straight over to this archer tower and or air defense, and they're gonna start moving across here to that wizard tower. This is where you got to be very patient with your free spells. So make sure that when they lock on, you want to freeze them right then and there. So you can see that they're going to use a second freeze, which is going to be right in between those 2 wizard towers, and that allows the bats to get right up to that wizard tower. Yep, right up to that wizard tower. Now you may think, oh, they're going to split over to the other wizard tower and you're going to have to drop a freeze. Be very patient. Drop your freeze when they get there. So that means that right when they get to that cannon, like you saw there, he put down the freeze and they were able to take out the wizard tower without the wizard tower taking out the bats. And that is a very, very simple way of going through this, and definitely a very good attack in this case. But that is just one other example from the other attack that I broke down, but hopefully that gives you guys another clear view of it. So let's go ahead and take a look at another example with the Pekka Bobat. So by taking a look at this base design right here, we can tell that it is going to be symmetrical. But we also notice that we are using an Electro Dragon. This way we are going to be able to create the funnel. This is what I usually did when I was at Town Hall 11 creating the funnel. And Electro Dragons are just so good at creating the funnel with this. I can't even stress that enough. I can say that over and over. You guys will probably get tired of me saying that, but it's true. It is a very, very good troop for funneling. But with that being said, we also want to have the king create the other side of the funnel. Now, on this base design here, what in this example you'll see, the Grand Warden does pop the ability really early. meaning that we wanted to be able to protect the wall wrecker just enough, along with the Pekkas and bowlers, to get rid of the Expos that were really harming that wall wrecker, and also the Pekkas and bowlers, as they were definitely taking heavy fire. And not just that, but we still want to be able to get those splash buildings as much as possible, meaning that stuff like Wizard Towers, Multi-Infernos, and even the Eagle are always going to be important. You can already tell from here, though, that this was definitely a big area. Like, how could we even get that wall wrecker all the way across the base when there was like 4 Expos in that bottom section? Well, we didn't go through 6 o'clock, meaning that we are going to still be able to get some sort of value from our wall wrecker going in just a little bit offset from that. Now remember, with the free spells, that you want to make sure that you are getting value, so you want to make sure that you're using them either the first one, and your bats may not get there in time, so you're going to have to overlay a second one, so that then you're going to be able to take that out. Now not just that, but also make sure that you are still using that freeze value in order to use it on other things. As long as all of the splash has been taken out, you really want to make sure that you're using the heal spells in other spots, such as in archer towers or air defenses or even expos. So those are always going to be really key spots to use the free spell on once all the multi-inferno towers and stuff are out. So that is just something to consider when you guys are using Pekka Bobat. But another really good example, and you notice from this one, is that how the wall wrecker path was right through the base, and even though it may have looked like you weren't going to be able to get the eagle, it opened up that last compartment, allowing the queen, the Pekkas and bowlers, to get right up through the base and get rid of the eagle. So let's go and take a look at another example here with Pekka Bobat. So in this example right here, we're going to be seeing the Electro Dragon being used. Primarily, again, with this is to create the funnel. However, here in this case, that we want to make sure that we are taking our time, using it in order to get that value that we want for the funnel. Meaning that we don't want to do anything to it. We want to allow it to get the value that it needs, so that then we are creating the funnel on that side, and then using the Pekka and wizards on the other side to create the other side of the funnel. Now, I did use a base very similar to this. It's not quite the same. However, it is still a very similar base design to this, meaning that I kind of know almost the ins and outs of a base design sort of similar to this. Primarily with this is that when you're taking a look at a portion of the base, that you want to use your wall wrecker and your Pekkas and bowlers, making sure that you know where the town hall is, which is on that side. Meaning that what we want to do is we want to send everything over in this direction. We want to get rid of the multi-inferno, and we can also try and get rid of the eagle as well. Now in this example, you see that there is no poison. That means that we are going to have to deal with the lava pups, which are going to be really annoying, but we are still going to be able to get some sort of value from the wall wrecker. Now remember that in the wall wrecker, we usually have something such as like 2 balloons and an ice golem, which are sometimes usually really good, or we can have a combination of other things, like maybe even a Valk in there or something like that, or a Pekka and 2 balloons or something like that. So of course, that's just going to be up to you. But let's pause it right here, and I really want to stress this. You don't just have to do a bat wave. Like I said, you can do a bat bomb. What is a bat bomb? Well, you're going to be using your bats, you're going to be using your rage, your freeze, and your bats. Primarily, you're going to be using the bats in the base with the freeze and the rage. The rage is going to rage up those bats, of course, and also going to get them a lot of really good value. Usually, if you want to play it a little bit more risky, then you can actually drop in your bats and then your freeze. Well, rage, bats, and then freeze, or you can do the rage, freeze, and then bats. It's going to be up to you. You can either play it safe or actually go all out, which is going to really sometimes even provide you with more value. Other times it may not be that useful, but raged up bats can still get a lot of good value, which is of course every dream of using the bat spells. So if you're very much used to using the bat wave, or using either the bat wave or the bat bomb, then you've got a couple different options. But this is a great option in order to get some sort of value from your from your bat portion of the base, or of your attack, is what I'm trying to say. But Still, bringing in the bat wave is never going to be a bad option, and I would highly encourage you guys really try it out, since sometimes it can really provide you with a lot of really good value, since most of the time that you are going to be using your bats either on the outside or on the inside, that's really going to be your primary spot. But make sure that you're not starting them early. Now let's go ahead and take a look at our last example of the Pekka Bobat. In this last example, what we're going to be seeing is that we have the Wall Wrecker, of course, in hand. We also have the Electro Dragon, and we have the Poison as well. Remember that with the Electro Dragon, we want to get chain value. So look for areas where there may be a lot of 1 tile to maybe even 2 tile gaps there, where we can still get some sort of value from the Electro Dragon, like you see right up here. Now we're also creating the funnel on the opposite side with a few wizards and also the king and a few Pekkas. This way we can send everything in as we go into this direction here with the Wall Wrecker. What we're able to do is drop in our bowlers once we have a clear funnel set, so that then the bowlers don't start walking onto the outside. However, the bowlers do walk on the outside of the base. Now that's always gonna, that's not usually gonna be a bad thing. Since we still have Pekkas and we also still have our heroes, that's all that matters. Now you'll notice that now that you'll notice again that there is a Lava Hound CC, we have a poison for the Loon and the Lava Pups to get rid of them. Instead of not bringing one, we have one to deal with those. Now not just that, but we have access now to both of those multi-infernos. We already took out one of them, but we're getting we will be able to get a second one once we take out the eagle. And it may look like, you know, other than that, that's going to be all the value that we need, which is, of course, that's really what we want to get. So once this multi-inferno goes out, we can drop our bats and they're going to start to move in this direction like this. And that is going to be the pathing of the base as a whole here when you're using this attack strategy, as more specifically, the bats will have easy pathing through the base as long as you're making sure that you're using the heat or the free spells at good areas. You're allowing the bats to sort of get a lot of value from them, using the free spells over as many of those defenses as possible, specifically the wizard towers, in order to get value from them. But other than that, it's a very, very simple attack, allowing you to get rid of a lot of different base designs and really crush just most Town Hall 11 bases. So I hope this really helps you guys and kind of goes into that clear-cut example. Hopefully showing you guys more examples than just 3 or 4 really provides you with a lot more value than what I typically did before. But if you guys did enjoy this video, remember to leave a like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell so you guys don't miss anything. Also, feel free to go ahead and join my community Discord or any of the other clan, and if you feel like you want to join any of the other clans I'm covering, feel free to join their Discord and follow their instructions as well in the description below. And also, feel free to go ahead and follow me on Twitter and Instagram. And also, why not check out this video if you're new, or if you guys want to see another video, check it out. It's on the screen. But with that being said, that's going to do it, guys, for the video. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll be seeing you guys next time. Corrupt, signing out.